like they were the first ones to help out. 29 years later, he killed 5 people, execution style.
Oh my God.
I'm like, he'll be found tonight. Somebody that has glasses, he's not being harmed, he just went. And all of that happened. A guy with glasses, tall, found him, he was safe. And when I went to the hospital to see him, he goes, Jennifer, you were right. And he goes, I knew what you were saying, but I didn't want to believe it.
What do you think is the biggest misconception about people like you, like psychic mediums, medical mediums? Like,
I think everyone has this innate intelligence. They might not have it on crack. Everybody has a voice. Not everybody should sing. Creating a show right now about my life, having somebody play me.
your good friend Jessica Alba is doing a show about this. Have you ever had a moment you simply couldn't explain? Maybe you thought about someone moments before they called, kept seeing the same numbers everywhere, or felt like a loved one who had passed was somehow still with you. Are those just coincidences, or could they actually be signs? Today's guest has spent years helping people navigate those very questions. She's a renowned psychic medium who has worked with everyone from everyday families searching for comfort to high-profile clients looking for clarity. Her extraordinary work has even inspired a new Fox drama being produced by Jessica Alba. Whether you're a lifelong believer, a curious skeptic, or somewhere in between, today's conversation just might challenge the way you think about intuition, grief, and the possibility that we're more connected than we realize. And yes, later in this episode, Jennifer has agreed to do something she's never done before with me, a live reading. I have no idea what's going to happen, and I haven't shared anything with her beforehand, so you'll experience it right alongside me. If you're enjoying the Iconic Midlife, I'd love for you to subscribe wherever you're listening, leave a 5-star review, and follow me on social media at Red Carpet Roxy and at the Iconic Midlife. Every review, share, and follow helps us bring you more incredible conversations like this one. Now, let's welcome Jennifer Shaffer. Welcome to the Iconic Midlife, Jennifer. How are you today?
I am fabulous. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, I'm so excited you're here, and happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, was
Thank
it
you.
fun? What did you do? Was it exciting?
It was actually a lot of fun. It was fun because the U.S. played, the soccer team played, and they won, which was very exciting. But I have 2 kids that are at home now from college. One graduated, the other one is still going to Berkeley. But I love having them home. It's just so much more fun now.
That is exciting to have
Yeah.
the kids around. It like brings a new level, I'm sure, to the house, when they're back.
It does, because now they can ask for a drink. That's I'm like, oh yeah, you guys are legal.
That's wild. You can't say no anymore, right?
No.
That's amazing. Well, I wanted to have you on because we had actually met before at a Dear Friends charity event,
Okay.
Joan's Wish List. Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes.
Was that when I read, like, it was 97 people?
Yes, you did. And can I tell you, and we'll get into
Okay.
this a little bit later.
I love that I don't know. One of the greatest gifts given to me is that every day is like new. So even when I meet people, I tell them, like, please tell me that you've met me before or whatever, because I'm such a magoo, especially when I'm in that like zone
Yes.
that I was in. But that taught me so much that day.
I bet. I mean,
Taught me a lot.
97 readings. Wow.
97 readings.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to get into what you told me in just a little bit, but
Yay.
it was literally one of those things where I was like, how could she know this? And both my husband and I said that because you gave us both like readings and we were so bowled over. We couldn't even believe it. So we'll definitely get into that.
Oh, I
But
love that.
yeah, absolutely. It was so good. But I want to get into how you knew that you were gifted and special in this way. Like, when did you know that you were different?
So what I've been told is, because I had seizures at 3.5 months old, it was called a larynx stridor seizure, that my mom would race me to the hospital back then, no phones. Finally, it lasted long enough because I turned black and blue, and sometimes when she'd get me there, it was already over. But one time it lasted long enough, and there was a British doctor on staff, and he goes, I've seen this before. I was the 8th documented case for this particular seizure, and they gave me belladonna, which is hallucinogenic and a poison. My mom was terrified. And she said eventually I grew out of my seizures. So whether I charted that before, I'm pretty sure I did to happen, but my brain was fried. And then they gave me a hallucinogenic on top of it. I used to like them back then. And they believed that was the gateway based upon brain scans and so forth. And then I didn't know that I had this, but my one of my earliest memories was, not wanting to go across the street. I was raised Mormon, not wanting to go across the street to this Mormon household. And like, there's something really bad about I felt about this kid, and there couldn't have been the nicer, like, couldn't have been a nicer family. Like all of them, like the parents would come and bring food. If somebody was out of a job, like they were the first ones to help out, to help out. 29 years later, he killed 5 people, execution style.
Oh my God. Wow.
And so I'm like, but my parents were like, why would you want? I'm like, there's something really bad with him. And he never did anything in high school that was wrong. Like, and I knew the 5 people that he killed. Like, it was one of those things that I grew up in this little town called San Marcos, down in San Diego. And he ended up doing that in Texas. And I went on CNN with Dr. Drew because he, at the time, this was 10 years ago, at the time to talk about how good the family actually was. It wasn't something that the child was abused or like from a bad family. And I was the only one that knew the actual family. The family was wonderful, but it was just so going back, I believe I was different. Like I was a stockbroker. I knew all my boyfriend's passcodes to all their phones.
That's helpful. You can
That
catch a
was
cheater, right?
But I always tried to prove, I'm like, the worst part about it is I'm like, I know you're not good, but I like you anyway, you know?
So how did that talent, I mean, that gift that you had, how did that resonate with the Mormon church? Like,
It didn't.
yeah.
It didn't, but one day one of their Boy Scouts went missing. And they remembered because my parents had me on, every prayer list, and God bless them. And so they asked me, like, could you help us find this boy? And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And I did. I said there's going to be a gentleman. I mean, they had one of the greatest things about the Mormon community. There was hundreds and hundreds of people looking for this kid. I'm like, he'll be found tonight, and it's going to be by somebody that has glasses. He's not being harmed. He just went, and it feels like the park. And I told him, and all of that happened. A guy with glasses, tall, found him. He was safe, but so they didn't know what to do with it, and I didn't feel comfortable. I wasn't strong enough to be a part of the Mormon church and do what I do for work. I just wasn't. You get to a place where, like, I'm super grateful that my dad, who was a Mormon bishop, believed in my work. And it was because he asked me, he's like, okay, so what's wrong with me? Because I do medical intuition. I said, his arm hurts. And I'm like, your arm hurts, your right arm. And he goes, my arm's fine. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, well, sometimes maybe it just does, maybe it didn't work. I remember going upstairs and crying. Like, how could you guys do this to me? It's my dad. A month later, he was at my house. My mom and my dad were at my house because we were going to Dr. Phil. He went for a run that morning. One of my cases was on Dr. Phil. And I'm in the shower. My mom comes up and she goes, you know what? Your dad's defibrillator went off 8 times. And I'm going to be going to the hospital. I'm not sure. Like, she was in shock. I was in shock. I'm like, what's happening? He had a heart attack. And when I went to the hospital to see him, he goes, Jennifer, you were right. And he goes, I knew what you were saying, but I didn't want to believe it. And it changed our whole dynamic, our whole relationship. Like, I loved my dad dearly. I was so upset over giving him that information. But he goes, I knew what you were saying. He goes, it was my right arm. He goes, I knew exactly what you were saying. I just didn't want to believe it. And look what happened.
He's like, okay, mental note. I gotta
I
listen to
gotta
her.
figure
Yes,
this
yeah,
out.
and
I
figure
gotta
it
figure
out.
this out. Yeah.
So, what do you think is the biggest misconception about people like you, like psychic mediums, medical mediums, like people that like have these premonitions?
I think one of the biggest misconceptions, I believe, is that people think that they don't have it.
Oh, interesting.
Everyone has this innate intelligence. They might not have it like on crack. Everybody
Right.
has a voice. Not everybody should sing. Um, it's but everybody has it. And so they think it's just reserved for us, and that's not true.
Mm. So, What would you say to somebody like that that is listening to their intuition, but like maybe our intuition is obviously different than your
Everyone
intuition,
everyone
right?
has everyone has everyone has different versions of it.
Mhm.
Some people just feel things, which is actually the easier, which is better. I happen to see I literally see ghosts. I see, and I'm just classifying it as that spirit. I see the electric magnetic field that surrounds all of us. I see everybody's connections to it. I get past, present, future. So I just had to learn what everything meant. And it's humbling. Like the more I knew way more 10 years ago than I do now. The universe is vast.
Right.
And I have a huge, you know, how would I say it? I'm much more sacred about what I do for work than I used to be.
Oh, interesting. So
Like,
are you
just
more just selective with
very
what?
selective.
Okay. Okay. So what do
Yeah.
you do in a case where you are receiving a message and you're not sure if you want to tell that person or because it could change their life? Like, how do
It
you
carries weight. Um, hmm. I ask if I should say it.
really?
Mhm. Not everything that I receive, I should say. And I learned that the hard way early on. So
Oh, how's that?
just with a case, just because we get information, we shouldn't say it. Like sometimes the parents aren't ready for it. Sometimes that's not, even if it's an open dialogue and they're there and they've said, please help me find my child or help me. So I ask the question and I usually get told, or how to say it even. So this woman, her son was missing for 6 months, and I knew he was in a tarp like I can feel that. I'm like, okay, so what do I say? And I felt the spirit tell her she had a dream about me last night, and I told her what happened. And so I looked at her and I'm like, I'm getting the information that you had a dream last night, and she just started bawling. So I didn't have to tell her. She knew what I was saying, and then we went from there.
So I mean, the information you're getting is so specific. I
Yeah.
mean, it's usually always like that, right? I mean, it's very
It's
specific.
specific, but it might not be for that person.
So
Too. So like for instance, when I'm too close to it, like my uncle, he said he goes, Jennifer, look into my heart. I'm like, I do feel like there's something wrong with your heart. And I'm like, I feel like there is a heart attack. Like I couldn't figure out, well, his wife had a heart attack. So I felt one, but I didn't necessarily know where. And so now I know to dive deeper now. Like this was, early on. And just because I see it with someone doesn't necessarily mean it's theirs too. It could be. Now I'm very good about trying to navigate, but when it's close to my family, it's no fun.
right, because sometimes you don't
Yeah.
want to know, those
It's my
things. I
cross
mean,
to
that's
bear for sure. People always say, "Can you turn it off?" And I'm like, "You know what? I don't want to. I live my life. I never want to turn it off." And so, but I just don't go around reading everyone. I don't want to have to be in a place where I have to like meditate. And I think meditation is I meditate every day, but I don't want to have to meditate to get information. I just want to always be in that state. And so, because when I get called by law enforcement, it's not about having time to sit there, whether you could do it or not. You have to dive in, whether you're driving a car, and I've just made my life like that. And so I never turn it off. I just don't go around reading everyone.
I can imagine, like, girls' night with
Oh
you.
my
Like, do your
gosh.
friends get together and they're like, "Jennifer, read me, like, tell me what's
Oh,
going
I
on?"
have I have groups of friends, but they don't. The worst problem is that they don't want to bother me. I'm like, I am not going to be the one that's going to, unless you have to tell me, hey, look into this, or hey, something's going on in my life. Do not expect me to know and call you. It just doesn't work like that. Sometimes, it does, but please just tell me, hey, I'm not feeling well. I'm like, I'm also not going to be the one that shows up at your doorstep with soup. I'll order it for you. Everyone knows I don't know how to cook. If someone asked me, if there was a bunch of people that needed me to cook, they would die. And then I would be able to talk to them. Like, I
Right.
will be there for you for every illness, every death, like everything else, but don't expect me to know things either. Please just say, hey, Jen, can you look into this? And I will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, when it's your own
Mhm.
kids, how does that work? Like,
It's interesting because they knew, like, when they would lie to me, I'm like, "Can you come here for a second?" And they knew, and I could see them trying to clear their heads. I'm like, "You think that's gonna work? Okay." They're like, "Don't think, don't think, don't think, don't think she's gonna read your mind." I don't make a blank slate. It was just so funny, but then I had to live with the fact that they tell me everything now. There's certain things where, you know, like my daughter, she goes, "I was asked, she's like, what is it like living with your mom?" And she goes, "Well, I just thought talking to plants was normal. And like, no, my mom never had a plant die. Like I've had orchids that have lasted for 5 years. They keep coming back. I'm an orchid whisperer in my house. Um, yeah, I figured out everything is alive. And so when you get to that place, like I went vegan for a year, worst time of my life, not because of I couldn't eat, it was easier for me to eat meat than eat lettuce because it was still alive. So I'm like, where do I go from here?
Really? So you were
It would
kind of in your
oh,
head about
I
that a
couldn't
bit.
do it. It got to that point. I'm like, okay, something has to change. This is so lame. How is this happening to me? It was easier to pray over something that was already gone.
Really? Oh, that's so
Yeah.
interesting. I've never heard that take on it.
We finally got a fake Christmas tree. My husband's from Pennsylvania. Not that that means anything. But Christmas tree was, and I would get sick every single December. I would hear that no matter what I would say, "Thank you for being part of our life. Thank you for celebrating it." Like I could hear the high pitch of the Christmas tree dying. And I'm like, "We can't do this anymore." And so we got a fake Christmas tree, and it's been the best thing ever. But I'm like, for many reasons, I'm like, well, I tried to get a Christmas tree where we can replant, like all those things, and it just never worked.
Because they
They
do die
do.
in the end,
And I
always.
tried my best not to feel it. And it just, no matter what I did, it just wouldn't work. And it was just, Christmas became miserable for me. And I loved Christmas so much.
Is it a painful death for Christmas trees? Like, is it something where
I
the
don't think it is. I think they know. So, this is another thing I've learned since then. Trees and animals know when they're gonna die. Like they know their purpose. It's humans that we don't know we don't know when, we don't know what our purpose is. We're still trying to figure out. They know their purpose. They know that they come in here, they do what they need to do, and then that they're contracted to us, and then they leave. We're the ones that don't know.
that's so interesting. I think, you're so right about that. Their
Is
intelligence level is
beyond.
beyond,
Beyond,
right?
beyond. Like if you want information, go literally hug a tree. Go to the ocean. I commune every day. I'm knock on wood. I'm very grateful that I get to go to the water, and I get to, and I used to take it, I didn't take it for granted, but it was my medicine. But now when I go down there, I'm like, thank you for healing me. Can I enter? And when I ask, can I enter? I get shown pictures and feelings and emotions that I would never think of. Like the first time I asked that question, I was on a cliff. What came in my mind, I was on a cliff with these white, like, culotte pants, and I had to have been 5 years old, and I was in Scotland, and I heard the words whisper to me saying, "You've always been welcome." And then I got these flashes, and it's nothing I was thinking about, and it just made me feel so much better, and when you do that, like another time that I went down there, they're like, "Hand it all over," and I was having a heavy challenging content day, I call it. And I'm like, thank you. They're like, we're meant to handle it. And it showed me just the waves crashing. And like, if the more that you get in tune with the earth and with whatever is your sanctuary, you're able to bring it back with you when you're in a place like this, when you're just, you're meant to everyone's so deeply connected. They just don't know that they are
So how do you find out? Like, how do you get to that place?
through silence, meditation, prayer, whatever it is that works for you. It doesn't have to be one way or another. You don't have to sit there. You can go for a run and get in your meditative state. You can play music and commune. You can, whatever is your XYZ. Cook.
Yeah, cook.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you
Joy.
gives you
Right.
enjoyment, right? That's so important, especially now. I feel like we're lacking joy in this
And
world,
that's the other, I have so many, I look for algorithms with my work. I deal with the dead. I have people that come in here that want to know the last 24 hours of their child's life. I have people that I had a client, last week that literally was waiting for me I looked at him and I said, you want to leave the planet? And he goes, yep. I can't tell you how many times I've had clients that have found me and that have like I was going to be their last call. They
Like
were
they were
going to
going to
take their
take their
life.
own life? Is
I'm like, no, 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 no. You think about death. So I thought about death as a child constantly. And I believe the Mormon church saved me because I knew that if I committed suicide, that I would go to the least heaven, whatever that means,
I've never heard it like that, but
least heaven.
the least heaven.
And so, but I thought about suicide. Well, when you're a child, when you're a kid, if you play soccer, you get a soccer coach. If you dance, you get a dance coach. When you think about death, you're depressed, you go to a shrink. That's if you're lucky. And it's so when I explained this to him, I told him, I said, you are, he very well-known surgeon. And I'm like, you deal with death, but you're not in charge of it. Like you're thinking about death because not for you to be over there so that you can work with it. There's no death school. So I, thinking about suicide growing up and wanting to leave the planet myself, it wasn't for me to be over there. It was because I was going to be working with it in the future. When you're younger, you get these ideas that a lot of times you end up doing things later on, that you're passionate about. My daughter would read World War II book novels with women. She's now working for aerospace. She's an aerospace engineer. You know, there's just things. Who knew? Like there was no way that I would have known being Mormon that that's even like I'm going to be a medium one day. Not a thing.
I know.
It wasn't a thing. Like that wasn't. Everybody's like, "What, you talk to dead people? That's great, Jed."
Yeah, it's not something you can really train for or go to school for. I mean, it
It
just comes,
but
like you're saying.
there's
It's
some
just
there's some great teachers out there that I was very fortunate. Lisa Williams took me underneath her wing. John Holland. There's some great teachers out there that will help you understand it more. Because I think people now, especially know, ever since COVID, they're just like, this isn't it. This can't be it. There's got to be more to this. And so it's made my job easier. Like I don't have people that don't, even if they don't, I'm like, great. Then we don't have to talk about it.
right.
Let's just have fun.
Let's have
But
fun.
people so the people on the other side too, they're like, you're wasting your bodies. You guys are not having fun. You're
Oh,
not. They're like, you sit there in your heads, you on your phones. They're like, get outside, go play, go have sex, go do this, go
mhm.
enjoy. You still have your bodies.
That's fascinating. So they tell you, like,
Oh,
that's a
yeah.
repetitive
They're like,
message that you hear from
all the
them.
time. They're like, one of the biggest things that I heard that I thought
Hmm.
was very interesting is no one has ever said they wish they would have held back from the other side. Not one person.
Not one.
Not one person.
Huh.
Somebody's come through saying, I'm sorry, you have trust issues because I cheated on your mom or whatever.
Mhm.
But no one has ever said, I wish I wouldn't have taken that kiss. I wish I would have had that, whatever it is.
That quality time like
Yes.
spent with loved
Yeah.
ones
You
and
don't take your things with you.
right.
You take the memories.
Right.
So are you doing everything you can just to get those things, or are you enjoying yourself with the things that are free?
Right. Right. Absolutely.
Right? I know it's
Yeah, no, it's really it's a good lesson for people to know because it's something that we take for granted. Like you're saying, we're on our phones. We're like running around from
yeah.
meeting to meeting. Like, we're parenting, we're, in relationships. It's like it's never about that. What's really important. It
Yeah.
seems like,
Yeah. Every day I look for things. I'm like, okay, this is what I want in my heaven.
Yeah.
This is what I want. This is what I want my kids to remember. This is what, like, this moment, like because of the moments that I have been shown through thousands, I get literally at this stage, I've given thousands and thousands of readings. And I just now, like, I want them to be able to reflect on, wow, we
Mhm.
might not have had everything, but my mom made sure we had fun,
Oh, that's great. And
you know?
that's what's important,
Yeah.
It's like that joy, that fun. So what
Yeah.
do you think when people are coming to you? What do you think that they're looking for? What are they searching for? What's missing?
Hmm. Probably validation. I think that when people come to me, they know things, but they don't know it's true, or they don't know. I validate what they already know.
Mm.
And what I always say to people is that you're always connected. I just might move your awareness to that connection. I don't change anything, but I just move your awareness to something that you've always been connected to. And that could be your intuition, it could be your grandparents, it could be your loved ones, it could be, the crazy dreams that you've had or things that you've had as a child that get validated.
What do you think people are looking
Yes.
for when they come
Yes.
to you, the validation? And so it's almost like they kind of know in the back of their minds or their intuition, they're just not paying attention to it, right?
They sometimes don't want to know. So when people come to me too, wanting a divorce, for instance, I never tell anyone to get a divorce unless they're in physical harm. And like, there's been, I can count on one hand how many times I'm like, you know what, you need to leave now, or you need to get out of this. But I usually just validate what they already know. They usually know the answer before they come to me. They either want to be talked out of their answer, or they want to be like, did they miss anything? Or are they sure? And I will never say, you need to do this.
Okay. So you kind of just
I
give them
give
the
them the information and I
information.
get out.
That's amazing. Okay. If you're okay with it, I mean, it's okay if you're not too.
Oh,
Um,
yes,
could I experience
absolutely.
this firsthand with you?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. I'm like,
Don't be scared.
yeah, just tell me if something comes.
There's something with a mother figure too, but I also had something that came through earlier, but I know it was my birthday, but are you celebrating a birthday with somebody?
So my daughter's birthday is this coming
Okay.
July 10th.
Okay. Is she named after somebody on the other side? Because that's what's coming through. Okay. And give me the name because I work with names.
Her name is
Okay.
Bray,
Okay.
Bray.
And who's the person that's coming through that she's has the middle name for?
My father's
Okay.
mother, so it's her grandmother who she
Right.
never met, and that's her. That was her
Okay.
maiden name.
So I feel like that's what was coming through. So I feel like she's saying that they're super excited for her and that she's been really like striving over the last couple years, it feels like, to she's just straightened things out, it feels like. And I don't know your daughter. I don't even know how old is she?
She's
She's gonna
gonna
be
be
12.
12.
Okay. She's so cute. There's some teeth issues. She's growing, like, obviously she's growing, but she's growing into her body. Like, there's something that she's feeling very, like, she doesn't have really spatial awareness right now. And does she still wakes up in the middle of the night, or is there anything that goes on with her?
So she has recently like to come back to bed with like
Okay. She's
us,
getting
with the
scared.
parents, because she's
Okay. There's something about, okay, so she has a tree that's behind her window, right? Or is there a tree that in her bedroom?
yes.
Okay. Hold on. I'm actually talking to the tree. There's a light that makes her scared. So there's a light that goes on that might be a trigger, like one of those lights that if something goes by it, she might get the reflection of it, and that's what wakes her up.
Oh, yes, my husband put those lights out. So
So
yes, for
even though it's for her protection,
right.
what I'm receiving is that it's something that's what's triggering her. The light is triggering her, waking up. I was looking, like, tree, are you hitting the window? What are you doing? No, it's not me, it's the light. But they're very excited for her because she also, I don't know, what did she start doing 2 years ago? I know that's she's 10.
So she's always been like a shy and reserved child. So I feel like she's coming out of her shell a bit.
That's what they're excited about. They're very excited about that. And is there anything with changing schools?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. It's so sweet. You already know what's going to go, but you're letting her make the decision, and it's going to be the right decision. And it'll be challenging at first, but it's going to be so much better for her in the long run.
Yeah, that does
Okay.
make sense.
So that's the other thing. I do so much with my work, but I call myself an intuitive because then the universe gets to give me a lot more.
Right.
Because if I just say that I'm a medium, then that only references me talking. The universe just lets you have whatever it is that you vacillate on. But yet,
Oh,
I'm really good.
interesting.
Like, I love in helping women find their own power, men and women. And I do love the other side, but I'm really good at finding missing people. That's easy for me. Crime work is easy. But it's not necessarily what I'm passionate about. Go figure. But anyways, so You didn't even ask me that question. I just went straight into it. But what questions do you have, or what can I look into?
So
Your
my
dad.
dad,
Okay, give me his first name.
yes, his name is he's Pakistani. His name is Amanullah
And
Khan.
he's on the other side, you said. No, he's still here.
No, he's
Okay,
actually still here.
hold on. And you guys recently moved him, correct? Okay.
Yes.
Someone's very happy that he was recently moved. He is so stubborn. And what I have realized is that stubborn people actually live longer. I don't know why. Um, he had did he have a fall?
He did.
Okay.
He did. Yes.
Okay, hold on. He's strong though. He's not healing well though from the fall. Love him as much as you can. And how old is he?
He's
Okay.
86.
You've definitely extended his life and you've made it so much better. So don't forget that no matter what happens.
Okay.
Just
It's yeah, for sure. It's hard just kind of seeing him go through, those phases and everything.
I had to watch my own parents.
Yeah. Did you have did you know that, what was going to happen came to be or
So my parents came home from Mexico. My dad he had that. I just thought it was Mama Zuma's revenge from Cancun. But I panicked. I'm like, Dad, you got to go to the hospital. You got to go. So he went to the hospital. They gave him some antibiotics and sent him home. And before that happened, I did a ketamine treatment where a doctor gave me, and this was a long time ago. We're talking like 10 years ago. And my grandmother, his mom came through saying he has cancer. And I'm like, no. He was just sick. That's all he was. He was just sick, in Cancun. When your mind, this is something that I've learned over and over again. If my mind says no, I don't get shown it again unless I look for it again. Could I have saved him? Probably not, but he ended up with pancreatic cancer.
Oh wow. Oh gosh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, it's something
Yeah.
I was, you know, she tried to tell me when I was mad at her. And then my mom didn't, this was in June, I want to say, or October. And then I get a phone call, later on, like a few months later, and she's like, your dad's not feeling well. I'm like, go. Why did you wait so long? They went, and then he was literally, and then a few weeks later, diagnosed with stage 4, and that was it. We had a month with him.
Oh my
It was interesting. I'm like, I wonder if we'd never told him, or if we never found out if he would have lived longer. It's one of those things that, like, the second you say it,
Yeah.
there's nothing you could do.
Yeah. There's nothing you can do. And did it bring your mom and yourself closer again? Or was it
Yeah, my mom was always a big fan. She's like, I'm worried about your dad not ever coming to terms with what you do for work. And my mom's so funny. She's like, we have 1,000 years to repent. I'm like, okay, Mom, stop. I mean, more like they were married for 48 years.
Right.
She's on the other side now. And she had a fall and I was the executor. I'm one of 7 children.
Oh my gosh.
And they put me in, they're like, you're going to be the glue that has to get everybody together. And I'm like, why the non-Mormon? Like, why? But I made sure that my brothers, everybody came to terms with everything. But it was, yeah, it's, that's the biggest thing is feeling like this enormous responsibility.
Are you the eldest daughter as well? Same. God, there's so much to unpack with that. It just all falls on our shoulders all the time. And right, I feel like half the time, when things are going, sideways, I can't even take time for myself to process things because I've got to make sure everybody else is good. Do you kind of feel that same way? Do you have that too?
I do, like, for years, every time my parents would show up, I'm like, who's gonna die? And then they can't even, when I get to that state in my mind, they can't even tell me hello. Like, then I start freaking out if they give me anybody's picture, then, so it's a very, very, I had to learn to let go and just allow them to come in because I was pushing them away. And once I did that, everything started, I've realized that I can't stop the things that happen. I can try, but that was one of the worst things that I've helped people, I've saved people's lives. I'm like, you have cancer, but they're gonna figure you need to get in there. And the fact that I can do it with my own dad, is just it's something that I've just had to learn to be okay with. And just because otherwise they could just take me down. Like, I have to realize, and this is what I told some other doctors. I'm like, you're doing way more good doing what you're doing. Stop focusing in on the like thousands of cases. I only remember the ones that I didn't get right or I got the wrong interpretation.
Right. And I think that happens to so many of us in just any walk of life. It's like we focus on the thing that didn't go our way. Yes. Couldn't we do it this way? Why? And it's like the rumination
Yeah.
over and over again. And like, I want to be able to like turn my focus and be able to like focus on the,
Once I start, so my girlfriend, she's like, you need to meditate. You need to love yourself. And I'm like, fuck you. I was so angry at her.
totally.
But she's like, you don't, I'm like, I'm in the Delta state, which they've done brain scans. I'm in the Delta state. Why I'm doing this work, which is the state that they put people in that have like when they have severe brain trauma, they put them into comas to get them into this state, the dreamless state. And I'm like, I'm in that all day at work. I don't need to do, I don't. And she's like, no, you need to. And we went to Dr. Joe Dispenza,
Okay.
four of us, and it changed my whole life. And so when you talk about that, it gave me grace. And I realized I'm like, I've never done this for myself. And I had to unlearn. I had to unlearn. And the more that I unlearned, the more was given to me. The more things came, like, I realized for myself, in order to do the work that I do and not take it on, that there's an equalizer out there. And I'm not in charge of who dies. I'm not in charge of who gets put in jail. I'm in charge of just giving the information and letting the universe take care of it. And just know that there's an equalizer out there. God, don't get caught up on semantics. It helped me tremendously.
So that was your game changer.
Game changer. It changed everything. And now I don't, I deal, people could not spend 5 minutes in my head with the things that I have to deal with.
I mean, is it like you're just walking down the street and somebody passes you by half the time and you start getting like intuition or is it like one of the
I
like,
have so many people that are alive that
huh,
pop into my head. And then I'm like, okay, wait, where is that? And if one of my kids start popping, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, can you hold on a second? I need to call them. And it's always something, but yeah, more alive people pop into my head than even people, but it's a free for all when I go down to the beach. My meditation though, no one does. There's something that they've done, my guides, my angelic, what did I call them? My angelic gangsters, because they make me mad sometimes. Um, they make sure that that's my time.
oh,
And so it's just for me. But when I'm down at the beach, if I open it up, everyone, I'm like a magnet for all of the dead people I've talked to that are like around me.
you're like all of a sudden it's a
I know.
party in my
It's a party.
head,
I'm like,
right?
okay. But no, I don't. Sometimes there's times
Mm,
where I'm like, ooh, ooh, that's not good.
okay. So are there times when you find yourself holding yourself back, like you don't want to tell people things that come up?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, it's like you just can't let that sometimes.
Mm. People that know me know words carry weight.
Right.
And so I'm very, very, very careful about what I say and without diminishing what I'm supposed to say.
Right.
So if I get information like, oh, somebody's parent is this or that, or like I, I, I can give it in a way, just like talked to you earlier, where
Okay.
they're like, just say, she had a dream last night. I ask them like, okay, what should I say? And I usually get the information of what I should say.
I mean, it's absolutely
Yeah.
amazing that you have
Mhm.
this gift, and that you're able to give people peace too. I feel like a lot of the time,
I
it's like,
I think I realize that because we're all connected, if I can see healing or if I'm just the facilitator that it comes through, I don't heal people, but I get them connected to where they are healed, where they're already connected to it. Because everybody has that innate intelligence to heal themselves too, along with doctors and along with, you know, people that work side by side with people. I'm not saying to negate that or to get rid of Western medicine by any means. But that's one thing that Dr. Joe believes in. He's just like, we're meant to heal ourselves.
And that's through different modalities, through
All of
food,
it.
through.
Yeah. This is the only one we have, our body. And that's the other thing. Love your body. Our body's a computer that takes in absolutely every single thing you tell it. We might forget what we tell it, but it does not. It holds. Yeah.
Okay, so what advice would you give midlife women who are going through a lot of, there's biological changes, there are changes in friendships, relationships, kids are getting older, maybe they're going through a divorce. Like,
Find your passion and don't think it's going to come right away. Your passion could be a lifelong thing to find, that's exactly what it's about. It's going to change. What you believe in today could change tomorrow. And what you like today changes, and my advice would be give yourself some grace. Be and love yourself. If you want to be loved, love yourself. That is probably the biggest thing. And then talk to yourself differently. Like, okay, universe, you know how we always say, like, hey, if whatever it is you want, you have to give it away, or whatever it is, you have to feel like it is happening right now. I take it a step further. And I would say, like, if you want a relationship, say, okay, universe, thank you for making the connections and helping me find the person that's already madly in love with me. Because there is somebody madly in love with you. There is no past, present, future. Whenever I get shown information, I have to weave through and figure out if it was the past or the future. It shows up in the same spot. So in the universe, the best way I can explain it, talk to yourself, whatever your future self, like talk to as your future self. Like, okay, thank you, universe, for giving me the person that is madly obsessed with me in the right ways. You could take that with your work. Thank you for connecting me to the people that love this work, and I said that one day, and then you asked to see for me to come on your podcast, and I didn't even know that we met before.
it's crazy how it works,
Always.
like how the universe works. And I think too, it's like the inner monologue in our heads is so powerful.
Have a good loop. Don't have a loop that you have no
Yes.
control over. And that's the other thing. I had to completely let go of everything that I thought I had control over. Like, that's crazy that I thought I have control over who dies and who doesn't die.
Well, you kind of do. I mean, you could let them know. You're like, maybe you shouldn't take that trip next week.
Listen, I have families that call me, should I get on that plane?
Really?
And it's usually because they've had someone that has died on a plane.
Okay, so do you ever say, no,
Yes.
don't get on the plane?
I have. Or somebody's gonna be held up because their passport is, and sure enough, I'm like, make sure you get to the airport. There's gonna be, you're in Europe. I'm seeing there's a delay, and you're barely gonna make your flight. Do not miss your flight because you're gonna be there for 2 days. And it happens, and they're like, oh my god, they get so mad. But I look for things, that's easy, and I get asked that all the time. And that was something with the kids. I'm like, I would tell my daughter, I'm like, please don't go. I'm like, and she knew, like, she was a junior. She's like, okay. And sure, I'm like, and I look to see, I'm like, should she be there? Is she going to save somebody's life by being there? Like, what? And I'm like, no, she's going to be associated with the people that are, and sure enough, somebody drank too
What
much
happened?
and they had to take her to the hospital. But because she was, I'm just like, please just don't be a part tonight. But I always look to see, like, maybe she should be there because maybe she's going to be the one that,
Right.
I'm like, tell them to not take anybody else's drink. She tried telling him,
And do they listen to you, the kids, when you tell them
Absolutely.
these things? Like,
My
okay,
son,
they're like, we're not going to fuck with
my
that.
son, not so much. My daughter, she's like, okay. When she says, she's like, how did I do on my test? I'll look into it. And like, or what should I study for? And I'm like, whatever you studied for 2 weeks ago, you need to redo. Like, and so she'll get things. It's not, instead of telling me about her test, I'm like, oh my gosh, she scored really well. And then she'll get the test results. Yeah.
That's amazing. Like, you're like, okay, you need to go back and like really focus on this.
I have because she mapped out her freshman year. She had calculus for her first math class in college at Cal Poly Slow. Yeah, she's an aerospace engineer and she's working it. I'm very proud of her. Um, and my son's at Berkeley, philosophy. So
Well, your work, I mean, speaks for itself. It's absolutely amazing. And so much so that your good friend Jessica Alba is doing a show about
yes,
this. I mean, so tell me about that. Like what can you tell us?
we're creating a show right now about my life, having somebody play me. So at our first Joe Dispenza, she's the one that dragged me to meditation. So at our first retreat, she's the one three bats went, say real fast. Three bats went by my head at the beach in Cancun. And I'm like, knock it off, Eddie. And they're like, who's Eddie? And he was somebody that passed away from a family that I love and adore. He was murdered and his sign was bats. And they're like, and we started talking about it. And then we started talking about all these cases. She's like, we got to do a show about this. I'm like, they can't do it. They can't follow me. I never thought about it being scripted. And so we're in the process of that. But she's just like, your life is already crazy to begin with. And all these cases that you've worked on with she's like, this needs to be a show. We're going to make this a show. So that's what we're doing.
Okay, so have you
Not
cast
yet.
who's going to play you
Not yet.
yet?
We're in the
Okay, is there like
process.
a dream list? Like a dream list you have?
Those are the things I can't look into. Like I've let it go. People are like, they have their own list that they're thinking about, but it depends on what age they're going to have me. Like some people are interested in me. They're going to make it to where I'm divorced or younger, but I've been married for 25 years this year with 2 kids, but they don't want to make it identical to my life, which is absolutely but the stuff that I do will be. But they're like, let's have her in the dating realm. How much fun would that be? And I'm like,
Wait,
yes.
that's super fun. So you could be like having the time of your life out there dating
Pretty
those
much
cute
did
guys.
before I got married, but yes.
Oh my God, yeah. When you're dating, you probably got intuitions of these guys.
I did.
So did that change how you dated? Like, was that the
I just
different
dated
process?
I didn't know what I had back then. I knew their codes. I always knew when they were lying, but to prove it is a whole different story.
Story, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's interesting. That's actually a gift when you're dating, and especially in Los Angeles.
Yes.
So, did you ever think that your life would be a scripted series like
No.
this? Is that so?
No. I never,
I mean, that's
I am so grateful I get to do what I do, but no, that wasn't something that I ever like, oh, there's going to be somebody that's going to play me. That's amazing.
So what does the future look like for you other than the show? Like what is Jennifer?
I would love to. My dream is to go to wineries all over the world and do wine and spirits.
It's perfect. And that's the name of the show too, right?
Because with translators, because the information comes to me in English. So I've had Japanese families that come to me that have their translator and we go through the translator. But I get their relatives that are over on the other side that never spoke English. I get English. And so I'm able to still and that's with every country.
Oh, interesting. So the ones on the other side will speak and will give you English.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So they kind of already know. They're like, we better speak in English
Yeah,
for
it
for
just
this
comes
lady.
through that way because it's not talking. They project their feelings and thoughts. And so that's what I give them.
Oh, so it's not actually them speaking.
No.
Okay.
No. In
Okay.
dreams, if you ever watch your dream state, no one ever talks.
Okay. That's yeah, you don't see people's like mouths moving and
No.
interesting. So it's really their thoughts.
Mhm.
So what do you think about signs? Do you think about like, the butterfly or the feather? Like, is that somebody that's passed? I mean, are those real?
It is definitely real. I mean, I was sent flowers that had a blue butterfly and a pink one, and to me it just hit me like it was my parents because they're both gone, and they were fake butterflies that my cat tore down. My black cat, of course.
Of course, of
Of
course.
course. And it was just, so even if they're not in the sky, there's still some, like, I didn't think that way, but I started crying seeing them for some reason. It really hit me. And they're constantly trying. So it's all energy over there. So they manipulate energy here. They don't become the bird or the butterflies, but they put your awareness towards it. And they do everything they can to get your attention. So numbers come in. Every time I see a 71, that's my birth date. That's also the age that my dad passed. It means a lot to me. I know my dad's around. And so, and I never look at anything that doesn't say it. It's very, very interesting. Some people see 1111. That means that you're somebody from the other side is telling you that you're on the right path.
Oh, so we need to get more in tune with looking for
It's
signs, right?
magic.
Like
It's
it.
magical.
Okay.
Ask for signs, and I'm such a dick about it too. I'm like, oh, well, okay, so there's 10 dolphins, but whatever. Like, I want something else. Okay, 2 more butterflies. Okay, well,
One more for good luck.
I want a rainbow.
So does heaven exist then? Do you think?
Heaven is within us.
Hmm.
All my information that I ever get or I'm sorry,
Mhm.
I ever receive, it's always from within. It's never anything outside. I see people, I see spirits,
Okay.
but every piece of information is electrically put within me.
Interesting. So it's already within
We
you.
have everything. It's within us. Heaven's not anything outside of us.
Right, because you have this image of it being like, in the sky and,
Oh, no.
okay. So it's
No.
within us.
It's within us. Our heart is literally a cell phone to our loved ones. And we have a frequency that is like nobody else's. Everyone has their own individual light. And they hear it instantly. We are that connected. And the more that you talk to your loved ones, the more that you will feel them. Mind you, it's not because they haven't been there. It's because your mind, your filters are coming down. They've always been there. Like there's times at night I put my hand up and I can't see it. That's how thick the energy is. And I'm just like, you guys, I need to go to bed. I need to go to sleep. And then because my mind says that, they don't leave, but my mind says that and I go to sleep. Your mind is so powerful. So if you believe that you can't see them, then you won't. I was shown dead people when I was growing up and I asked to get my, glasses. I was shown that because I wouldn't have believed in it later. But that made me start investigating. I had no idea what I was seeing.
Wow, that's so fascinating. How does it make you feel about death?
Death is just it. I don't want to make it sound like
Are you afraid of death?
not at all. I would be very sad not to see grandkids or see my kids later on. I feel like it literally is a game. It's a game. And when you know that, you want to be the best at the game. And it has nothing to do with what you get. It has to do with, did you do enough with your kids? Did you make them or your friends? Like who have you helped? Like Tuesdays with Maury, like or the 5 people you meet in heaven by Michelle. Like it truly is like that. But it's a game. Like there's something about it when you get out, you're like, your loved ones don't leave you. They're all within you. And when you realize that, you're able to access so much more.
Yeah, you can really tap into
Everyone
it, right? I mean, you can see. Yeah, that's powerful. That's really powerful. Okay, so actually, what advice would you give your 25-year-old self?
to shut up. You're exhausting. I mean, I would love that little girl that was a triathlete, a stockbroker, that was so insecure. I would just say, babe, you're going to do great things. You already are. Stop caring about XYZ. Everything always works out. It always works out. And slow down. Slow down. Smell those flowers. Talk to those people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Slow down.
Be present,
Be
right?
present.
Present.
Yeah. Somebody said recently, like, if you took your phone, like, if you treated your spouse like you do your phone, taking it everywhere,
Mhm.
looking at it, ruminating over it, like, if you treated your spouse like you do your phone, your marriage will last.
Right. It's true. It's so true. And how are you living iconically right now?
Um, saying yes. Saying yes. Um, Getting out of my comfort zone. Mm, and writing about it.
Mm.
Writing about it.
Yes, I've been also watching your social media. I love
Medium
the
minute.
videos. Yes, the medium.
I started that because when I'm done after 7 hours of being in this,
Right.
with with the challenging content that I deal with, I'm like, there's so many great nuggets that I won't remember.
Right.
And so that's why it was almost like just a diary for myself. And then someone liked it. And so I'm like, what could I say that's going to help people? And there's usually algorithms throughout the day. And I'm like,
Mm.
oh, okay. This is something that I learned. I learn something every day and I love it.
And that's what you should always continue to learn, right? Like we never stop
Always.
learning,
Always.
right? We
Yeah.
just have to keep
Yeah.
going and doing the thing. Well, Jennifer, thank you so much for coming on the Iconic Midlife. You're absolutely amazing.
Oh, you're
Everybody
so
should follow
sweet.
Jennifer. And I mean, she just has the best, not only the best advice, but she's like, you're like a superwoman. You've got all the superpowers. So, Jennifer, will you tell everybody where they can find you?
Instagram is Jennifer
Mhm.
M. Shaffer, Shaffer. You can also just go to my website, jennifershaffer.com. So JenniferShaffer.
And do we have a release date for the show? Do we
We
know?
do not
Okay.
know.
Okay.
No, it's a forever process.
Right. Totally. Welcome to Hollywood, right? It's
Yeah.
takes a minute.
Yes.
Well, we'll definitely be on the lookout for that. But thank you so much for joining the Iconic Midlife.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having me.
Jennifer, thank you so much for joining me today. Whether you're walking away from this conversation feeling inspired, comforted, skeptical, or simply more curious than when you started, I think we can all agree on one thing. Life is filled with mysteries that invite us to stay open, ask better questions, and trust ourselves a little more. If today's episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear what you think. What moment stood out the most? Was there something that Jennifer shared that made you see things differently? Join the conversation by connecting with me on social media at Red Carpet Roxy and at The Iconic Midlife. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and share it with someone who loves thought-provoking conversations. Those simple actions make a huge difference and help The Iconic Midlife reach more amazing women around the world. Until next time, remember, your most iconic chapter isn't behind you. It may be just the one you're stepping into right now. I'm Roxy. I'll see you on the next episode of The Iconic Midlife.